Oh, brother, listen. Mm, 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 mm. Hello, knockouts. Tanya TKO here. You know what? Good morning, everyone. Tanya TKO here, and I just had something come across my feed this morning, and I started to read it, and I said, you know what? Here we go again. So I shared it on my Facebook page, and I said, you know what? Let me go on and go live and read this with you all for the first time. Listen, because I didn't read it. I saw the shenanigans. And I said, you know what? Listen. Because I didn't talk about his affair when he got caught the second time. Good morning, everyone. We are broadcasting in live. Listen. I am your host. I can't do this. I can do this. I can do this. We gonna do this. We gonna do this. Pastor John Gray. Oh Lord. Pastor John Gray is in the news again. Pastor John Gray is on our timelines with the shenanigans again. So here he has come out with some professing to his angel Aventer, right? And he's going into this long spiel. Like I said, I didn't read it. I skimmed it and I saw the shenanigans and I said, let me go on and make a video. So we're going to read it together for the first time. Don't you worry. I got you. We're going to read it. I am your host, Tanya TKO. I'm a self-love specialist from TanyaTKO.com. I hope you learn how to love yourselves and one another. On this channel, we use viral video topics as teachable moments in our own lives. And so we're going to find out what the teachable moment is here. For those of you who don't know John Gray, John Gray is a pastor. He was first brought on the scenes, I believe, by T.D. Jakes, right? He's in Atlanta. He was like, or was it Joel Osteen? Somebody, he was brought in by somebody else, right? A person that we all know. But the story is so foggy at this time because I've had to push the foolishness out of my mind, right? Then he went and he got his own church. He had an own series with his wife and family, of which case she revealed that she had all types of thyroid issues and all types of issues. And if you look into what physical ailments come up from the way we're living our lives, and thyroid issues, throat issues, not speaking up, not being heard, not being able to have your dreams fulfilled. He came out on Sister Circle. I did a video about this. I did several videos about John Gray. That's why I didn't do anything on the last time that he got caught cheating. So, oh God. So he came out on Sister Circle, a series which unfortunately has been canceled by now, or at this point. And he was talking about how his wife, he was like, oh, don't marry a lid. You got to marry a cover because a lid will hold you down. This, that, and the other, right? It turns out he was her lid, right? Listen, we're going to get into the whole thing. He was her lid holding her back because she had been in medical school or she was studying to be a lawyer or something. And he talked about how she had to birth, the pains he had to birth her. You know, at the end of this video, I might play the sequence from my video for you. I don't know. I don't know if I will. You have to request that. Because if you haven't, you can just go see the video. Just type Tanya TKO and John Gray. I did several videos. One of them went viral, right? Then remember, he got caught cheating. Before he got caught cheating, Derek Jackson came out and he spoke about this issue publicly. Then Aventer came out and they were on an Instagram live and she was talking over her husband and she was trying to protect him. And then I did the video, remember, with the with the bolitos, remember? And I was like, oh, you must have dropped these. And they were bolitos. You got to see the videos. Oh, God. Then he got caught cheating. Then he was out there crying on the stage. And then there were bloggers that had exposed the voicemails that he had some mistress staying in the same hotel. Like he would travel with his wife and the mistress would be in the hotel. He would go from his wife's room to the mistress room and he was sending some other woman money. And meanwhile, he got a family with this other woman. Then he bought his wife this big, what was it? It was like a Lamborghini truck and she was all happy. And it was just a mess. Then he was talking about then she came out preaching about some devil woman trying to get into their relationship with the devil. It was a mess. It was a mess. Then they went away. And I was like, oh, thank goodness. Then it turned out a few months ago, he was cheating again, caught in public. Lot of mercy. So then listen, let's jump further into it. Let's jump further into it. Yes, Trisha's saying she had to speak to the 16-year-old boy in him. Yes. Yes. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Okay. So listen, let's jump into it. I'm going to read this for you this morning. I wasn't prepared for a video, but I said, you know what? Let's just come out and do this. Let's do this. I'm going to read this for you. I'm going to read this. Let's go forward. Let's go. Let's read. So we have this photo here. I saw this. I thought this was a Vogue photo. Yes, you see how with the puffy sleeves. I said, oh, what is this morning? Then I clicked and I started reading. I said, what is this? Right? John Gray Ministries was at the top of the page. Here we go. Lord of mercy. You all ready this morning? Let's jump into it. This is for my wife. I cannot. I can't. We can. Let's do it. Let's keep moving forward. This is for my wife. She is from God. She is a life giver. She is a kingdom builder. Her name is Aventer. I met her at church. She was worshiping God through dance. Over time, she allowed me in her life and let me dance with her. She took my ring and said yes, and we began our forever journey. What my dance partner didn't know was that I was very much unfinished. I guess like a piece of furniture, huh? Let's go forward. I never knew what consistent discipline, planning, leadership, manhood, or personal holiness in action from a man's standpoint looked like. Living a shadow life, God was unwilling to let me die, assuming I was whole. I failed to uphold the wholest standard of God in my marriage. Let's go forward. I'm sorry. Let's go forward. And I'm sorry. Although you are the only woman I've... Hold on a minute. Now what? What is this? Lord of mercy. The lies done come this morning. Woo! Okay. Although you are the only woman I've ever slept with. I guess he wasn't doing much sleeping then. I guess he was up all night. Emotional unfaithfulness is just as wrong. Sin is sin. All of it can get you sent to hell. Let's go forward. My marriage forced me to face both of me, flesh versus spirit. If you weren't sleeping with them, then how is your flesh? Let's just go forward. It is every man's battle. Loving God isn't enough. Preaching Jesus isn't enough. Face yourself, get delivered, or hurt the ones who actually love you the most. I started intense counseling, personal and for my marriage in the summer. Scariest thing ever. Most necessary thing ever. I had no one to blame. My life is my responsibility. Admit you're wrong. God deserves a better. My wife deserves a better. The pain. What a pain. I said the pain I caused her is immeasurable. Because remember, she was birthing him. So she was birthing some big grown man, 400 pounds maybe? Okay, at least 300. Okay. She was birthing some 300-pound man. Of course, the pain. All right. Seeing her name in blogs because of things I did broke my soul. So since I was the cause of the public embarrassment, let me just be as loud about public honor. Let's go forward. Let me just be as loud about public honor. Aventer, you are the miracle to me. I'm sorry for the pain I've caused you. Your name should never come up in any conversation, in any negative way, in anyone ever. I must do the work to earn your trust. I live the life I'm not proud of in so many areas. But before I die, I will be the man God intended for me and the husband that your loving heart can rest with. I'll be the father my kids can be proud of. I'll be the pastor, relentless, can stand behind. I'm in the process and I will stay in it. May the man I'm becoming match the vision God showed you. I love you. Whoa. Oh God. Oh God. Not even whoa, WOAH. Whoa. WOE, which means woe. What is woe? Woe is pain. Woe is suffering. Woe is strife. This is what we're looking at here. This is what we're looking at. So here we go. Here we go. This is it right here. This is it. Woe, WOE. The woman has been through so much woe. I can't just let's jump into it. Let's talk about this real quick. I want to know. What are your thoughts this morning? Woe, Trisha is saying woe is sorrow. Farida is saying woe equals sadness, regret, remorse. Fumilayo is saying he should stop roping God into his BS. I mean, then the great cosmic mother says 95% of these pastors are crap. I just Tanya saying, thank you for reading all that aloud. I need my coffee for all that nonsense. So you all are saying that this is nonsense. Mrs. O is saying, that's how they sound, these wolves in sheep clothing. Woe is a warning. Wade is saying most churches aren't biblically based. I don't know what you mean by that. I thought that they used the Bible as their reference point. I need to know what your thoughts are on this, because I'm caught. I'm caught personally, because somebody's saying he should stop bringing God into this. But who else is it? I mean, and you know what, we can go over to his page and read some of the, you know what, I won't do that because then other people's screen names will come up, but it is public. But you know what, I'll just leave whatever's on his page, right? Because people are commenting and some people are not here for it. Some people think this is foolishness. However, if you are living your life in the church in this way, right, then of course you are a work in progress. And part of your belief is that there is this being in the sky who already has an idea of what your life is going to be. And this person, and then also if Christianity is a part of your belief, you also believe that there's this being beneath the ground called the devil, and that while you're trying to live your best life, this devil is doing things to tempt you and to get in the way and to stop you from your greatness, and that you are in the process of being this thing. For me, there's a lot going on here. First of all, I have problems with the fact that he is attempting to profess publicly that he's never slept with another woman. It's vague. It seems very disingenuous, and it insults our intelligence. And then he starts talking about the flesh, and then he starts talking about an emotional affair. It's not flesh if the affair is emotional. You know what I'm saying? Let's just jump into that. Right? Then he starts going on about this whole the dichotomy of being the man that he is supposed to be versus the man that he actually is right now. And I think what happens a lot of times, because we talk about intercourse, we talk about sex on this show. And for some reason there are a lot of people who think that that a woman's piousness, and as long as she lives by this code and this doctrine of virginity and all this other stuff, that's going to lead her into the life of bliss and bliss, right? Now, one of the issues is that the person who we feel an emotional connection with may not be the person who does it for us sexually, right? The person that does it for us sexually may not be the person that we feel an emotional connection with. There may be things about us that we get to learn and learn over time about the things that we like sexually. And the person that we get with may not be the person that is willing to do those things. So I'll give you an example because I'm a life coach. I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist. I work with people each week and we talk about the issues going on in their lives. And many of the men who come to me for coaching, there's all types of issues going on in their personal lives. And one of the biggest issues that they face is being a mismatch sexually with their mate. And most of the times, the men who are having these mixed match issues, they confused having a woman who was virginal or seemed virginal or who lacked sexual experience and thinking that that made her a better mate and partner because she lacked sexual experience or because she was waiting for him or whatnot, right? And I really wish that we would do away with a lot of these archaic views that were written by old men of a time gone, right? A time where people attempted to impose things on people which may not have even worked in its own day. And they're attempting to impose that on us today when we have society is different. Human beings are different. Communication is different. Our motivations as humans is different, right? Now we're attempting to be happy. There's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I remember this when I was living in my car, which me living in my car actually it created this book right here. It's sold out worldwide, but it will be available on Amazon. And we'll talk more about that when it is in stock. I hate talking about it and then you all go there and it's not available, but we'll get more into that when it's back in stock. We're working on publishing more now. They sold out quicker than I thought that they would. So nonetheless, right? we think that there are all of these other things that will make a person a good mate. And a lot of the times we don't form a bond, a connection, a sexual connection with our partners, which is integral to the life of that relationship. Because we think that all of these lists of things, of the way things, just unrealistic ways that things should be. We think that this list leads us into happiness. But with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it talks about our journey as human beings and how if you're just worried about food, shelter, clothing, you can't really be worried about the things that are on a level above that. But once you get the basic needs in order, then you can go up to different levels. Way back in the days before we had manufacturing, before we knew how to produce houses, our hierarchy of needs was probably a lot different than it is right now. We weren't probably thinking about living into our fullest, greatest versions of ourselves when we didn't even have ways to dispose of our feces properly. Right. I went to Ephesus. I went to the Middle East and I toured, like the place Ephesians, Ephesus. This is stuff that's in the Bible. I went to these places and I went to Greece and I saw, so in Ephesus, there was this area where like the rich people would go to have a crap. And the toilet seats were right next to one another. And it was just like this concrete kind of thing with a hole in it. And this was upper class for back then. So it's like, if you're still trying to figure out sewage for your city, you as a human being, there may be things that are greater on your hierarchy of needs than really living to your fullest, greatest version of yourself. As we continue to advance technologically, things begin to change, right? And so here we are at a stage in our lives where the basics are now taken care of. And we've evolved as people. Our needs, our wants, our desires are evolving. Have you ever noticed that you're in this perpetual state of when I get to this stage? So when I get to this stage, I'm going to do this and I'm waiting for this stage and all this and the other. As we continue to grow and as we continue to have more, get more, perfect what it is that we wanted before, there was something that I read that said, be grateful for what it is that you have, because what you have now is something that you wished for before. And so now here we are, and we're still attempting to have people be governed by principles that were created before we even had working toilets. And so we want women to be virginal. We want this, we want that in terms of their lack of connection to us. I had one guy that I was coaching, and his wife was not very interested in intercourse before they got married. She was like, no, once we get married, I can't give myself to you, this, that, and the other, right? But then once they got married, it didn't change. There was this tug of war, and there are different people have different biological needs. Different people have different things that satisfy them. And so now he's in this marriage. He's experiencing all types of issues and problems. He's already had an affair, at least one. And it's in our best interest to stop expecting human beings to be unhuman. It's in our best interest to encourage people to explore themselves, to figure out what it is that they like, to match themselves up with people. When it comes to compatibility, sex is one of the things that can make or break compatibility. And as you get to know yourself, look, we don't know what this man is into, and we don't know how Aventer likes it either. There could be things that he needs to tickle his fancy that Aventer isn't comfortable with. And it's like we wait until a person is trapped into this contract to be like, are you going to be comfortable with tickling my fancy in this particular way? But now you're tied to this person in a contract that's supposed to last the rest of your life. What do you do? And I think that there's a reason why this man is constantly going out there on the trove, roving around. There's a reason why. And I think that that needs to be addressed. And I would wish that things like that could be addressed before you're trapped into some everlasting union with this person. Because listen, there's a lot of people out there who are into a lot of different things. There's some people that's into BDSM, S&M. There's some people that are into backdoor. There's some people interested in multiple partner sharing. There's people interested in partner swapping. There's people who are interested in having things plugged into certain areas, tickled in certain areas, pulled out, licked around in different areas. And it's like, all of these things are fine if you're with a consenting adult. There's some people who are interested in contact with other people who are of the same gender. There's some people who are interested in contact with people who are of varied fragrance of genders. And there's some people who don't even care about gender at all, and they care about the heart. And it's like, there's a lot out there. And as we grow and evolve, we have to recognize and we have to acknowledge these things. And it's okay. Like I said, if the adults are consenting, it is none of our business. These people are making this our business by constantly coming out and continuously pushing their relationship, and the fact that this type of relationship, these types of relationships are a struggle. They're a struggle. Being with a person that tickled your fancy, and as you continue to evolve, that can be a struggle in and of itself. So listen, I'm gonna read a few comments, and then I'm going to jump out of here because I really want to hear your thoughts. I want to see. I want to see what it is that you have to Here, so Stellaris is saying you may be having sex with a long-term partner, but they choose not to reveal the fancies that require tickling because they're not at one with themselves. And this, I completely, and this is why we have to take the shame out of sex and sexuality. This is why we have to take the shame out of exploring. This is why we have to take the shame out of curiosities, because a person can be curious about something and then they try it, the curiosity is satisfied. Or they can be in denial about these curiosities and it continues to plague their lives. You know, it's like we have to allow, we have to come to some sort of point where we allow people for it to be okay. Dana is saying, I think if people take time to address issues before marriage, even before attempting to get into a relationship, people can figure out if they're on the same page or not. And so this is the thing. We shame people, we lambast people, we make it seem wrong to have certain desires. And as long as we continue to do that, then people stay in the closet about their desires. Joanna is saying, woe, noun, great sorrow or distress. They had a complicated tale of woe. Interesting play on words. The pick may be for Woe magazine. Oh, is there a Woe magazine? Okay. Well, then that, okay, okay. All right, for Woe magazine, but he chose to add woe in his caption. That could have been left out. Just reading between the lines, seems like he brings so much sorrow and distress in his marriage. And then so that's the thing. Are they happy? She's experiencing all types of dis-ease in this relationship. Is she happy? He's the one constantly going out there gallivanting, and she's the one who is dealing with the brunt end of it. At what point does she say, my happiness matters? Remember, we did that video, I was talking about allowing a man to cheat in peace. And it's like, what about your peace, sis? What about Aventer's peace? Right? Cherie is saying, I'm so sick of these religious loons using the Bible and God to justify their bad behavior when they need therapy. Well, he did say he's in therapy. Erica says in Christianity, they want you to fit into a box. There is no room to explore who you are. And it's like, how much longer are we going to be living under these constraints? Miss Jennifer is saying, that's part of my issue with religion. I think a lot of these pastors are sexually repressed due to, one, being gross, but two, having not be certain or have certain experiences or doing those things in quiet. Yeah. Yeah. So listen, I'm interested in what it is. I'm trying to skim some of the comments to see if there's anything that I need to add. Stellaris is saying this is more about honesty than sex before marriage. No, I think that this is about all of it, because you can be honest and still not know. They're expecting people to get married at 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. When you haven't, most of our parents are not even allowing us to date until we're 18. And then we're just supposed to jump into a marriage and know what it is that we like, what it is that we want, having explored the world or not explored the world or whatnot. It's like, we really have to give people a chance. We really need to reevaluate how we're doing relationships, how we're doing family. And in my opinion, listen, I read Conversations with God, and in the third book, it talked about an advanced society. And in this advanced society, the elders took care of the children, the elders raised the children, and the young people produced the children and were still able to live their lives. And when we start thinking about what makes most sense, how do we build a society where children are taken care of, children are cared for, and we're able to have children in our prime and still be able to be human beings and live our lives? And that type of society makes sense, where while we're young, we have our children, our parents take care of the children, and we go to college, we travel, we live our lives. And then when we get older, the children that we had that our parents raised, who are now well-adjusted in society, they, they get married or have their children or however it is that they choose to do it. And then we raise those now that we're older and we've lived our lives and we have our experiences. But now what it is that we have is we have people who are tasked with attempting to provide a stable, functioning, well-adjusted home and human beings from that home, when you yourself, when your prefrontal cortex is not even fully developed, when you haven't even learned who it is that you are, what it is that you like, or who it is that you want to be. And then it seems like there's only, and like we live in these individualistic societies now, where it's every man and woman for him or herself, and we put our elders in elder care. We ourselves, our children are our punishment, and we're raising children with young minds, and we're experimenting on these human beings, and the people who have the wisdom it's like they're pushed aside and thought of as irrelevant, when really, when you have, like, you all know out there, the way your parents are now that they're older is a lot different than they were when they were younger, full of all of this ignorance and experimenting on you with discipline, and experimenting on what they hope or think or don't know will manifest or matter in certain ways. And it's like, when we get older, we're wiser, we're calmer, our energy is more placid, we're more lax, we have more patience and more love to give, and we're retired. And we don't have to worry about going to work and all this other stuff. We're there for the children. We are, you know what I mean? I don't know. Listen, I'm going to read a few more comments and then I'm going to jump out of here. Okay, so you all are confirming this is for WOE magazine. And the article is called The Evolution of Aventer Gray. Has she evolved, and what has she evolved into? Lex is saying, I truly feel bad for Aventer. Miss Molly is saying, you have to remember the various books of the Bible were removed because they showed women with too much power and freedom. Testify. Okay. Daynell is saying he was cheating with women last time. Trisha is saying, I couldn't imagine marrying someone before experiencing them sexually. This does not mean to have sex with everyone you date, but people should find out if they're sexually compatible before signing up for marriage. And people try to shame that for some reason, and I don't know why. Christy is saying married at 18. Nope. And Wade is saying, and yes, Satan played Grode is the church isn't new. I don't understand what that means, but maybe he meant play God. I don't know. Richie's saying what you said is correct, but their religion does not allow them to fully express themselves, especially women. Miss Jennifer's saying Tanya's so on point. Listen, make sure that you are subscribed to my mailing list so that you get notifications when I plan on going live. When I go live like this on the spur, you just have to make sure that your notifications are turned on, because this video will be chopped up and re-uploaded. I just wanted to get this recorded, and then we'll pull it up and put it up on my main Facebook page. And here's Serena saying, imagine waiting until the wedding night for sex to find out he packing, you know something, I'm not even going to finish reading that out loud. And someone is saying, someone said, admit when you're wrong, God deserves better. Okay. And Trini is saying, yes, grandparents have much more patience and wisdom. All right, Cherie is saying, either way, he's a lying man of God. And I mean, listen, I believe that anybody can grow and shift. It's not over for him. And so I wish him the best. I wish them the best. We as human beings, we grow up, we shift. And sometimes what's for you is not what is currently happening in your life right now. Or maybe sometimes you need a shift from a certain relationship. We keep talking about John Gray. How many of us are really, really thinking about Aventer? From what it is that I heard, someone not testified, they gave a testimony about this weekend seminar that they were at. It was a marriage seminar, and Aventer came there crying. And this was before it all came out about the cheating. She came there crying and in pain. And she was supposed to be one of the speakers, but then the people at the seminar, the retreat, ended up getting into a circle and praying for her because she came there in so much pain. And listen, I understand the journey. We all have a journey, and I wish them the best on theirs. It's just that their journey is creating so much content for vloggers, even vloggers like me. Listen. Listen. Oh, look. She's saying Black women sisterhood is saying woe means women of elegance in this scenario. LOL. I don't know. Listen, child, I thought you was teaching us something about this magazine. Get out of here. All right. So I will see you all in the next video. Go out there and love one another. But most importantly, what? Love yourself. Loving other people, the basis of that is self-love, loving yourself, because that's where it all begins. And part of loving yourself is admitting when you need help. He said he's in therapy. He said they're in marriage therapy. And I hope that this is the direction that they need to be able to help them get where it is that they need to be. And I hope that they're honest, open, and realistic about what it is that they need, each person. And when people are honest, listen, and that's the thing, right? Yes, you can be honest about what it is that you need, what tickles your fancy, what floats your boat. And if another person is honest about their willingness or lack of willingness to do that, you've both got to be honest. And just because you're honest about what it is that you need doesn't mean that your partner has to give that to you. Some people are just not a good match in that way. Are you willing to live the rest of your life without having your fancy tickled in that way? And that's a question that we each have to ask ourselves. And you can answer in the comments below. Tanya TKO, and I'm out. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.